Hello everyone, this is Cheryl and I'm here to do a little bit of a tutorial, a quick little thing. I posted this little sunflower, hope you can see it, which I did on that pocket that I did in the video, which you might have looked at that pocket and said, well, that's kind of plain, but now I've spruced it up. So I saw a tutorial done by Joey DeFee, the great and talented Joey DeFee, who I really love to watch sometimes. And she was doing these little paper flowers. So I tried it. I love it. The sunflower is my favorite, although you can do other shapes. So I'm here to show you how to do that. And I'll just put that aside. Here is one that I did. As it has a little bit of different petals to it, and I'll have to tell you a little bit how I did that. I had this gift bag, this floral gift bag, not a shiny gift bag, but a paper kind of gift bag. And I cut it up one time because I was the two sides, and I thought I'm going to use it maybe as a journal cover or on top of a journal cover or whatever to decorate it. And I never did, and I think I sent a piece of it out in Happy Mail, and then I kept a piece. And so the other day when I was doing these flowers, I pulled out what I had left and I cut squares and I did this. I had two pieces, but you actually need 3 pieces of paper to make these flowers. So I found a piece of green scrap book paper that was in my scrap thing as well, and I made 2 of the floral and then 1 of the green, and I made this cute little flower. And I just cut the petals a little bit bigger, a little bit, just like 2 of them, and so it looked like a heart when I was done cutting, but when I unfolded it, then it had all these petals. One piece was a little smaller than the other 2 because I didn't have enough, but I used it anyway, and I think it came out really great. And then of course, it was pretty white looking for me, so I took my green distress oxide in Rustic Wilderness, and I just took my dauber and just went around each piece on the end. And then in the center of this one, I just did a little shadowing with this green, and it just took away a lot of the white and really made it stand out. And then I added a gold. I had this gold paper that was just a scrap, and so I cut a little circle and put it in there. Now, to me, it's not quite finished yet. I mean, I could leave it like this and it's beautiful. I would love it. It would be beautiful on an envelope. It would be beautiful, it would be beautiful on a pocket like this, a different style of pocket, different papers or whatever. It would be gorgeous. But I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle because that is what I like to do. On the sunflower, let me see, bring it back. On the sunflower, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, I don't know. But on the sunflower, what I did was I gave it some gold metallic splatters and some white acrylic splatters. And then I took my vintage, where is it? I don't know where I put it. Here it is. My vintage gold gilding wax, and I just put a little smear in there in the center of my sunflower. And so if you can't see it on camera, in person you can see these beautiful metallic. I used a metallic acrylic paint, from Walmart. It's called Pure Gold. And I just gave it some splatters, and then the white. And that just adds that little pop to it, and so that it's not so, what I like to call blah. So for this flower, I thought, well, I'm not going to do that shadowing like I did with the sunflower with colored pencils. So I think I'm going to use my gold Dollar Tree, nail polish. And I'm just going to go around the center like this. I'm not going to use like a ton, but at the same time, I want my flower to have a little bit of shine. I want it to pop on whatever I put it on. I want it to look like I just gave it that little bit of something. You know what I mean? And I just love glitter and sparkle and gold, and I just think it adds a little something. Maybe I don't do it on everything, but like for fall, I especially think it looks, and Christmas, it just especially looks pretty. Just adds something. And so I'm gonna do that. Now this flower is red and green and gold and white. And I don't know, can you see that? It just adds that little pop in the center of the flower. And I'm gonna tell ya, this flower, I would totally use this flower in a Christmas journal or something that I was making, a pocket or something for Christmas, because these are Christmas colors and I just love them. So look at that. What do you think? Leave me a comment and tell me what you think of that. But anyway, I'm gonna set it aside to dry. That nail polish takes a little bit to dry. And what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how I made the sunflower. So you're gonna need 3 pieces of scrapbook paper, book page, whatever you want to use. You don't want it to be super thick. If you make it super thick, it's gonna be really hard to fold properly and to cut it. So you don't want it falling apart then, because then if you try to make the sunflower and it's too thin, I'm not sure, this paper might be too thin, I don't know. I don't think it will be, but if you make it too thin, then it might just tear too easily, So I cut my pieces just like Joey did in her video, 4 inches by 4 inches square, okay? You could make them 3 inches by 3 inches square. Depends on the size of the flower that you want. If you want a smaller flower, cut a smaller square. I don't know if I'd go much smaller than 3 inches though, because then the flower is too small, too fiddly to cut, too fiddly to work with, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna make it big at the 4 inches because it's a sunflower. So you're just going to take your paper, and this is just scrapbook paper that I got in a pack of paper off the clearance rack at Hobby Lobby. And it's random papers, and I like it sometimes because I find treasures in there, like this yellow, and it's yellow on both sides. I wish I had used that on the one on my pocket. But I used the yellow that I did because it had this awful stripe on the back, which I didn't like, and I didn't want to use the paper for anything else. So I just used it to make that flower, and I was just doing a trial run on it anyway. But it turned out so nice, it is now in the pocket. So the first thing you're going to do is take your square and fold it directly in half. Okay. Make sure it's folded good. And so you're going to have that now. All right, so now you're going to take this bottom right corner and you're going to fold it over to the left side about a third. The point is going to land about a third of the way down the side. And you're going to fold. This is so easy, guys. Then I'm going to rotate it. Then I'm going to take this bottom right corner again, and I'm going to fold it up to meet the edge of this line here that I've already folded, and it's going to be like a cone shape. Okay, so now you have that. Did you get that? Let's do it again. So the bottom right corner, bring it over about a third of the way. And then you have something that looks like that. Then you rotate it, bottom right corner, line it up, just line it up with that first line, okay? Then you have a cone shape, and then you're gonna flip it over. Now you're gonna take this bottom left corner, and you're just gonna fold it up to meet that line. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but try to get it as close as you can. Okay, so now you have this. It's like a cone shape. And now I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to start down here and cut up. And I'm gonna hopefully do this right on camera, make it look cute. I'm going to cut these little petals, and I'm trying to round them, and they don't all have to be the same size or whatever. I try to make them similar, but sunflower is not perfect. You know, there's nothing in nature perfectly asymmetrical or anything like that. Most of the time it's, you know, so I'm going to see how many I can get out of here. Round them. I try to make sure I round them because I don't want square, pointy sunflowers, you know. All right, so now we have that, and I'm going to open it up. And I don't know why, but mine always takes on this little bit of square look, and sometimes I have to fiddle with it a little bit. But there we have that. Okay, so that's my first layer of my flower. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm trying not to bore you to death here, but I'm going to do the same thing, fold it the same exact way, folding it up, making it a cone shape, and then folding over and bringing this up. Very easy. Use your bone folder. Okay, then just choose a side. Oh no, I don't guess it matters. And I am going to cut them down a little bit, not all the way down or anything like that. Just as far as you want to. As thin as you want to, you know. So they kind of look like sunflower petals. You know, just making a cute little sunflower. I'm gonna try and, all right, get my mess out of there. So there we have that. I'm gonna unfold it. And there we have our second layer. And here I kind of cut it square. I don't know what happened there. It was the shorter end, I guess. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to fix it up because, you know, almost anything that you make, if you find that you did something you don't like, you can fix it. You know, don't stress about it. I'm going to cut it a little bit because I'm going to do that more anyway, all the way around each one. Might as well do it on this one. I'm going to try and round it up, and then, and I kind of want to go in here and make some of these petals, you know, cut deeper so that they look more like individual petals further down. You know what I mean? And you'll see later why I do that. I'm just going around here and just cutting them. And see how random they are? They're not perfect, and they don't have to be perfect. And I love that because I am very imperfect. And yet it comes out so beautiful. So I got that. I think this one is actually better, but you know, I'm going to do some of them. The ones that I think needed a little more. So there we go. There's that. So we have two. And see how different they look? I mean, like, you know, each time they're a little different. But that is the beauty of it. So I'm going to fold this one. Fold this again like this. Again like this. I'm going to give it a good bone folding. And then the back piece. Right there. There we go. So here we go. I'm going to cut it again. I recommend using small scissors too, because I tried to do it with my big scissors, and you really need a little pair of snips here, like what I'm using now at least. And see, this is hard, so a little bit. So if the paper were much thicker, it would just be really hard to cut. Okay, so there we have that. It's kind of weird looking, isn't it? So here we go. Gonna unfold it and see what we have. There we go. It kind of looks like the last one. So I'm going to go around again and just kind of give some of them a little bit of a snip. Make the petals a little bit deeper so they look more individual instead of a big, you know, whatever, clump. Just a little bit. How y'all doing today? Wish I could really hear what you say. Maybe someday when we do lives, when I get enough confidence to do a live and figure out how to do it. I mean, you know, all this technological stuff, you know, it can be tough for those of us who don't know how to do it. A lot of things, you know, still learning how to do some stuff, man. All right, so here we go. So now the next thing, it's pretty much in this shape, but if it were a thicker paper and it wasn't, you can just put it in your hand, take your knuckle and give it that shape. You know what I mean? I just kind of use my hand tools. No fancy tools here. Okay? So now I've got this shape. The next thing I'm going to do, because it's so yellow, is I'm going to tone it down, you guessed it, with Vintage Photo, because we want it to look a little more realistic than that. And, or at least I do. And so I'm just going to tone it down a little bit. I'm not going to cover it, you know, completely with a dark brown or anything, but I'm just taking away a little bit of that brightness so that it goes with my vintage look and so that it's not so fake looking, you know. So let's see. Let's put it together here. Let's audition it. And so there we have our little flower. It looks pretty good to me. Let me see here if I put this one in the back and this one in the front. Oh yeah, I like that. You kind of have to audition them. They all look a little different, you know, when you cut. You don't cut them all exactly the same, so they look a little different. So there we have that. You see that? I hope you can see. I hope I'm in frame. Boy, if I'm not in frame, I guess I'll be doing this over. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to glue them together. And, you know, Fabri-Tac. Let me get this glue off my finger. Fabri-Tac is my favorite glue. It's not a wet glue. It doesn't make your paper all lumpy and wet and hard to work with. And I love it for that reason. It dries quickly, and I don't have to like sit and wait for things to dry so much in between. I love it. I use it. It's a little bit expensive. I like it. I'm not sponsored by it. I just love it, and that's that. You know, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just like what I like, you know, and whatever works is what you ought to use. But this works for me. Fabri-Tac, 3-in-1, and let's see, there's another one, Fabri-Fix. They're all made by Beacon. They're all pretty much the same glue, and they all work the same. I've had them all. Whatever is available is what I get. So now you have your sunflower, and you know, so what I'm going to do now, you can do this one layer at a time, but what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to go around very gently, and I'm going to kind of curl them. Sometimes you know, I think I did the other one. I think I did the layers all individual, but you don't have to, especially this paper because it's kind of thin and it curls really easy. And I just am curling these up, and then I'm going to get in here and I'm going to just, on this one layer, just going to bend it up a little bit. You know, I'm just going to work that paper, and I'm going to make it look, you know, kind of ruffled, and that's what gives it its cool look. Okay, so there's that. Are you seeing it? I hope you're seeing it. Hope everybody's seeing okay. Then you just cut a circle of some kind of brown paper. Can be any kind of brown paper that you want. I have this brown paper. I just use my scraps, my offcuts, and you know, stuff. So do I want this one, or do I want that one? I think I want this one. I think I like this, because you know I'm gonna do some stuff. So what I'm gonna do now is glue in my center. Put it right in the center. And there you have a sunflower. Look at that. You can curl this up a little more. You can work at it. You know what I mean? You can take each one of these individual things that we created and kind of go around and do it individually. You know, curl them individually with your bone folder or whatever a little bit. I didn't do that, but it looks the same. To me, kind of looks the same. You know, I don't see a lot of difference. So I didn't put as much vintage photo on here, but when I'm done, hopefully this is going to look like more like a sunflower. So what I'm going to do is take my colored pencils, you know, just my Crayola colored pencils. And I'm going to get some of my colors out here, the orangey red, the brown, the orange, and the yellow. And we're going to make that center really look more like a sunflower. So I'm just going to start coloring. I hope you can see me, but I'm just coloring around the edge of it, the center, bringing it out a little bit, I guess. And I'm not being too precious about anything. I'm just, you know, it's not perfect. I'm coloring. It's, you know, pretty basic. You did it in elementary school, probably. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to just go around it and bring these little, whatever you call them, these little, going to just do this. Can't find the word for it. And I'm just going to go around it. This is the artistic part of it. You know, you're gonna make it look more realistic, more like a sunflower would look, you know? use all these colors here because I want to give it that orangey yellow, sunflowery look. I don't think the yellow shows up. So I'm going around here with the orange like this now. I'm just seeing what I'm doing. I'm just coloring, scribbling. I'm scribbling. That's what I'm doing. I'm scribbling in an artistic way. I'm scribbling and just making my sunflower take on that sunflower center look. Doing it with the brown, you know. Now I'm gonna do it till I really like it. I hope you can see me. Oh. So there we go. I like this color. There we go. You guys use your colored pencils in your junk journaling to shadow things and things like that? Have you ever done anything like that? Like sometimes I have a digital and I think, oh, that picture's a little pale and I need to bring it, make it pop. You know, these things are, this is a great digital, but I need to make it pop. And so I'll go around some of the pieces, just add a little shadowing or, you know, to just make it pop off of the page a little more and show up. So there's that. So now it looks like a sunflower a little more. And of course, you know, I'm gonna add a little more of this on the edges because, like I said, I don't want it so bright that it doesn't look real. I want it to have as realistic of a look as I can get it, you know, and make it. And then I'm gonna take my pencil and just do some scribbling in here. Just gonna do a little scribbling. All right. So there's that. Now we have that. Now we're gonna do, I don't know, man. Never done these splatters on camera. So I'm gonna try to do some splatters on camera. Oh boy. Without messing up my whole desk. Now I've got glue everywhere here. And I think it would be really wise for me to have a baby wipe. Excuse me for a second. Oh boy. So I found them. Yes, I did. So I got my baby wipes. Let me get this open. Yeah, can't hardly craft without them. Oh. All right. So clean this off first of all because that's a mess. A big globby mess. All right. Now we're back in business. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this gold metallic acrylic paint. I'm just gonna put a little daub of it. I don't know if I need more than that. And also the white. A little bit of white in there already, but I'll just add a drop, and then I'm gonna water it down because I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna do splatters, and hopefully I'm not gonna splatter everything, but so here we go. Got my gold paint. I don't know if you can see that, but I just added water to my gold acrylic paint to make it, you know, drippy. And hopefully, I pray that I can get some splatters on here. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. Aha. Beautiful. Okay. I don't have a thing of water here, so I'm going to use this baby wipe. And I'm going to go into the white now. Let me get some more water into it. Water it down. Make it drippy. You know, we want it drippy. There is something about white splatters, man. I love them. Gold and white splatters. Sometimes black, but not on a sunflower. I don't want black on the sunflower. All right. There we go. Oh. All right. Come on, cooperate. Work with me here. Oh. So when this happens and you get too much on there, you can quickly go in there and daub some of that off. You don't have to have all that on there. You know what I mean? You can get some of it off. If the splatters are too big or they're where you don't want them, like right in the center, you can take some of that off. And when that dries, and they will dry pretty quickly. I don't have my heat gun here or I would dry them. But when that dries, they're gonna look a little different. And if you need to add more, then you can add more. And what I do in the center, let me take that, dry that off, is I like to take this gold gilding wax on your finger. I like to use it with my finger the best. And I'm just gonna put a little shine in there. You can still see the brown through it, but it has that shine, and you know, it just has that. And when these splatters dry, you know, you're going to see gold metallic splatters and the white, and it's beautiful. So there you have it. There's all kinds of things you could use in the center, you know, when you make these flowers. I think Joey said she did some, and she put buttons. You know, buttons are an option for the center. She had little glittery pom-poms that she glued in the center of some, and you know, so here's our one that we made earlier with the glitter. And so there they are. Can you see them? I hope you can see them. Let me see if you can see them. Oh yeah. So there they are. And you could use any kind of scrap paper and make it go with any of your theme. For this one, of course, I'm going to do summer or fall. And for this one, I'm going to do Christmas, probably. This would be just beautiful in a Christmas journal with a Christmas theme or whatever. So, or some kind of floral, bright floral theme. I don't know, maybe boho? I don't know. But I'm thinking Christmas. This just looks like Christmas to me. So there you have it. I hope this helps you. You know, if you have any questions about what I did, just leave me a comment below, and I'll try to answer your question. Anyway, I hope this helps you, and I hope you try making these flowers. I think this would be a fabulous thing if you can, you know, if everybody loves doing these like I do, then I think it would be a fabulous swap. You know, we could make all different kinds of flowers, pretty vintage flowers and boho flowers and sunflowers or whatever, and we could make a swap out of it. So I don't know, that's something to think about, Nuvia. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now because I need another cup of coffee. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy crafting, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.